Hello, everyone. Hi, Connie. Hi, everyone. So today I'm going to talk to you about how to get the attention of your audience by using this what I call a very woo-woo muscle that we hardly ever use. Okay. So my first question to you is this. Have you ever suffered from getting all anxious and like really just getting not getting upset, but getting anxious and just really wanting to get your message out there, but then you get frustrated because you don't know how to do it. It's hard to you want to get everything right. You want your website to look perfect. You want to have the right headshots, and there's so many pieces that you want done right before you ever get on, right? So we get all up we all get frazzled up and try to be perfect in order to show up. And then when we show up, what happens? Sometimes you hear crickets, and it totally sucks because you totally visualized having like this grand entrance and fireworks in the background and having a whole bunch of people. You prepared your message, your post, or your Facebook Live. You know what you're going to say. And then what happens is that nobody comments on it, right? Or you just feel like you just did that for nothing. So then you either decide to stop doing it after a few times, or you have to figure out how to get the attention of your audience, okay? So it's totally not easy because we live in such a crowded, loud market. So you have to get smart, and you have to really figure out what it is that you're going to say, or how to package your message in a way that's actually going to captivate your audience's attention. Okay. So most of the time we're always appealing to people's intellect, when in reality, we should be appealing to their imagination. Okay. So imagination is this little woo-woo thing. I think it's woo-woo, and this is why I think it's woo-woo. Imagination is actually part of our creative center, and every human being has a creative center within us, okay? And the apparatus that makes this creative center grow and actually do all the awesome stuff that it's meant to do is imagination. So when somebody puts out a message in front of us and it captures our imagination, it automatically starts sending all kinds of signals in our brain, and it automatically captivates us. So the problem is, like I said, a lot of times we are trying to capture people's attention. We are trying to capture their interest. We're worried about how we look. We're worried about, whether we have the right business card. All these things, when in reality, we should really be worrying about how to capture their imagination, because that's going to give you the opportunity, your 5 seconds. You only have 5 seconds to capture someone's attention sometimes, right? So how do you do that? How do you capture someone's imagination? Well, the first thing that you want to know is that you want to basically be aware that you are doing it, and either try to create curiosity in your messaging, and or be able to tell them a story. Okay, so we learn through stories, and that's just kind of in our DNA. So many times we try to teach, and I know because I do this all the time. I love teaching, but when you develop the capacity to teach with stories, your message just gets across so much better. Okay, so my 3 tips for you today, and like I said, I'm going to do a webinar with Erin because she is actually an expert at this. So my 3 tips are those. Definitely figure out how to use curiosity as your main intention when you're writing your blogs, when you're creating your posts, when you're trying to outline what you're saying on Facebook. That very first line that you put out, which for the most part is going to be it's going to be your headline. It's like, how can you craft that headline in a way that's going to capture someone's imagination by using curiosity? Okay, so a lot of times what we want to do is we want to give them everything in the headline, and giving them everything in the headline, serving it to them in a silver platter, isn't necessarily going to get them to actually show up for your live or to read your post. Okay, so if you're writing a Facebook post, the most important line is that very first line. If you can capture someone's imagination and curiosity with that very first line, then they're going to read the second line. Okay, so it's the same thing when you're promoting a Facebook Live, for example. You know, you want to make sure that that title is captivating, and then, you know, always start. I like starting with the title. Why do I like starting with the title? Because when I start with the title, it's like, okay, this is a good concept. This is how I'm going to promote it. Now I'm going to write it and outline it in a way that's awesome. Okay, so I like starting with the title, but you might be different. So definitely use curiosity, use the power of stories, like I said, use your personal life. You know, a lot of people don't have, you know, when you're just starting out as a transformational leader, if you already have clients, that's awesome. You should have a folder full of stories that you can then tell. And you don't necessarily have to give away your clients' names or anything like that. People just want to know what's in it for them. How is this relatable to them? You know, so definitely have a folder with stories. And the more you put your own stories out there, the better it's going to be for people to be able to connect with you, because we like connecting with people that that we can relate to, that seem relatable, not necessarily someone that seems so up high that you just really can't relate to anymore, right? So the more you put your own stories out there, the more you're actually not just captivating people's imagination, but you're actually getting people to know you, like you, and trust you. Okay, so that's really important. And then also use language such as imagine. Okay, imagine you're at the beach and you wake up and you have someone serve you breakfast, and it's right there. Your coffee is nice and warm. Do you see how I'm actually painting a picture just by starting that sentence out with imagine? You know, you're already starting to think. Okay, so all of this is really just basic psychology. I like to call it woo-woo because I see it as the center of our creative center is really run by our imagination. And a lot of your imagination can do anything. It is a very powerful source of energy within every individual. You know, one of the things that I teach in some of my courses is, especially in the Selfish Path to Abundance, is I teach people how to actively use their imagination to tap into different parts of themselves. That's why it's called a selfish path to abundance. So the more you use your imagination, the bigger your creative centers actually get. So I think it's woo because the more you use it, the more you can manifest things. So that's a whole nother story. Okay. So that's all I have for you today. Like I said, if you want to captivate your audience's attention, don't try to captivate their ears. Try to captivate their imagination, and you have a much better chance at getting the attention that you deserve. And the last thing, actually, I'm going to say, I'm going to leave you with this. In marketing, you can't do something once and expect it to be perfect and pay off. It takes time. You know, the more you do it, the more you do your Facebook Lives, the better you're going to get. The more you post and put your message out there, the better you're going to get. But what I see happen a lot is I see a lot of brilliant people just get so frustrated that they just go from strategy to strategy to strategy because they don't stick to one enough to actually make it work. Okay, so that's really, really important that you have the discipline and the longevity to actually put yourself out there. And like I said, I was actually just telling someone this last night at a workshop I was teaching. I was saying how when I actually started, creating content and getting on Facebook Lives, it took me a really, really, really long time. So in both of my courses, in the Solidified CEO and in the Selfish Path to Abundance, I work heavily with archetypes, okay? And my archetype for communication, believe it or not, is the hermit, which is someone who really likes to be alone and behind the scenes and that kind of thing. Now, I know that probably totally throws you off. It totally threw them off, but I had to work really, really hard, and I'm still working on it, at getting comfortable and talking, into a Facebook Live camera, or, putting out my real thoughts and opinions about things in a Facebook post. Those that I really had to work hard on that. And I remember telling my best friend, oh my God, I totally suck, but I don't care. I care. I really need it. I want to put my message out there because it's important to me. So I'm going to suck until I don't suck anymore. And I'm still working on it. So don't be so hard on yourself. We are usually the harshest people on ourselves. Keep putting your message out there. And like I said, stop trying to captivate their ears. Instead, try to captivate their imagination by using stories, by using language like imagine if you were, and by definitely trying to use curiosity in your headlines and that kind of thing, okay? If you can get someone curious about what you're doing and think of curiosity, of capturing their curiosity with every consecutive line that you say or that you write, then you're golden, because really we are curious human beings. So that's pretty much it. Okay. So I'm actually, I was asked to start something, and it's actually going to start October 17th or 16th, that Thursday. And it's actually called the Platinum Offer Incubator. So if you're looking to create your online course and you just can't get through creating your videos and your PDFs and uploading it to an awesome platform, if you're looking to get that piece done, I'm going to run a 6-week program, and it's going to be an incubator, and it's basically so that I can review your offer and tell you if you should be doing your offer a little differently so that you can maximize your time. So I'll be reviewing your offer, and then I'm going to teach you exactly how to organize your content, what pieces to leave, what pieces to take out, and then we're actually going to get busy to creating the videos that you need to create, which for a lot of people, it totally trips them up because they think they have to have, this massive production, when in reality, there's a couple of different styles that you can be using right away to create those videos and upload them to a platform that's going to be accessible to your clients. So when you do stuff like this, when you actually develop an online platform, you go from being someone who is paid by the hour to someone who is selling high-end packages. So it's really, really impactful. So this is the difference between, like I said, charging by the hour or creating or selling a high-end package that really leverages your time and delivers results to your clients, okay? So I've seen it done so many times. I've actually, I just finished working with this amazing woman who was actually doing that. She was working one-on-one with people, and she was really getting tired because even though she was charging amazing money, she was charging like $180 an hour, but it was just a lot of hours, and she would have to come home sometimes at 9 o'clock because some clients she would only be able to see in the evening. So when she changed her model and created a high-end offer, she was actually able to reduce the amount of sessions that she was having by creating a whole support system that gave her clients the same and better breakthroughs. She was able to actually triple her amount of her price, the investment of the client. So that's what's possible. It's actually starting October the 16th or 17th. Let me double check here. And I'm excited. I'm only actually going to take 10 people on this. It's a 6-week incubator, and I'm only taking 10 people the 17th. I'm only taking 10 people because it's going to be really hands-on. So I want to make sure that by Thanksgiving, you actually have everything ready and uploaded so that you can go strong into December and the new year, because these are the hottest months, okay? So that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for being patient with today's little glitches that happened at the beginning, but I hope you got a lot of value out of this, and I will see you next Wednesday in our next Wisdom Wednesday here in the Selfish Society. All right, that's all I got for you. Peace out.